few things. I mean, I did get to snap some photos from earlier, but then I found myself lost in deep thought as I was driving around. So right now we're along Rawls Boulevard. Not sure if this. Oh my God, the huge Philippine flag. I love it. So we're along Rawls Boulevard. Now that I'm seeing the Philippine flag, I'm assuming we're really near Luneta Park. And that's kind of fitting because the thoughts. Oh my God, he's far. I found myself lost in thought just earlier about this whole thing that. Is it the transmission that's hot? It is. Lost in thought about this whole. Well, it's not this whole, but everyone. It's been an issue for a while concerning graft, corruption, and all of that, right? And the push-pull balance that is required for a healthy system. Because the non-existence of the other, I was thinking about what is the point of all these protests? Because I started thinking about my friends that are not going to be or have not been part of the protest or do not necessarily care about it, and my friends who are very, very invested in it, and I'm not saying that I'm not, right? But the ones that are how do I say this, that are, I guess, to some extent almost radical in their points of view and their perspectives and wishes for the Philippine government moving forward, right? And then I thought about the repeated and repetitive comment that it is repetitive, that it's just a cycle that keeps going and going and going, right? We'll have a bad year, we'll have a good year, we'll have a bad year, we'll have a good year, right? And people are tired of it. I mean, then I sympathize with the exhaustion of people. I sympathize with the perspective that it should not be like this. It shouldn't be a stop and go. Is everyone just gonna break the law and go past this red light? No, I don't want to. No. But anyway, I know it shouldn't be. I sympathize with that, but then I keep thinking about my early lessons in philosophy and political science, where a political system can only exist, or a healthy political system exists, when there's a good balance and a good mix of both, of the bad and the good, right? Because I'm gonna turn on a flashlight and then light myself because it's so dark. Of bad and good. God damn. Oh, it is so bright. Where can I bounce you? Of bad and good, right? It has to exist, bad and good, because if you only have the bad, and it's a horrible, even before that, we have to establish what is even good, what is even bad, and it's all going to be relative, right? Depending on the political bias or the system that is the goal or the system that we want to have, right? So let's just say it's not bad and good. Let's just black and white, right? The existence or the non-existence of the other would be to the detriment of the system. We want to have a system that balances both, right? And even if we don't like that, it is what is necessary. Again, this is what I'm remembering from my philosophy and my political science lessons, and I can't even quote the correct passage or the correct philosopher that talked about this, but that is what I remember. And I guess that's where I am in terms of my political perspective, right? It's good that everyone is very oh wow, oh fuck, I am now accidentally in Intramuros. Anyway, it is good that we don't want, or that we are opposing, that there is an opposition. I think that's it. Yeah, there is an opposition. That's good. That's really good, right? But to wish for the other side to never exist, I feel like that's just gonna be bad, right? And then that kind of landed those I am in Intramuros. Holy fuck. I don't know how I landed here. Well, no, it's Ross Boulevard, and if you take Ross Boulevard, you kind of just end up here, or, you know, the docks, the pier. So, yeah, you can't pass through there. You have to turn right, I guess. Newspaper dispatchers. Yeah, to have a balanced system, you have to have a little bit of both. Where am I in Intramuros now? How do I exit this area? Yeah, oh, fuck. Alright, let's figure it out together. Because I don't know. Yeah, you have to have a balance of bad and good. Fuck. What am I meant to say? Is that an exit? It's not necessarily an exit. Take a U-turn here. Yeah, no, that led me down the path, or this nagging question of luxury, right? And I don't know if it's, again, I'm not judging the people who are protesting, who are very vocal. And again, I also, I'm not saying they should, but I don't know if is it hypocritical to, you know, protest for the end of graft and corruption, and essentially protest the end of essentially protest the end of excess and the end of luxury, right? Because in that system that they want to have, or they aim to achieve, right? Luxury cannot exist. The excess, or the practice of excess, cannot exist. Then everyone, it's almost, I mean, it's not, I really do have to brush up more on political theory and a little bit of a sociology, I think, right? Political theory, sociology, philosophy. I do have to brush up on all of that to really be able to give a proper opinion on this. But it would be essentially the end of luxury, the end of excess would be essentially communism. And I'm not sure if that's good or bad, you know, but we've always been against, kind of, or at least there's always been a weird movement against communists. So I guess the quick answer right now, that would be bad, right? But then if you have the opposite, when there's an excess in opulence and an excess of wealth and luxury that's disproportionate to to the populace, you now have like an oligarchy or a monarchy, right? That's why you ended up with the French Revolution. It's just, there was just one side that had the minority had the majority of wealth, right? So there's fucking the golf course for Intramuros. It's right there. Okay, cool. At least I know where it is now. Yeah. So I'm not saying that it's hypocrisy, but the people who are protesting, who are very vocal about this, and who want, I guess, the radicals, right? The ones that want a specific type of system, the ones that want graft and corruption and excess to really be removed. I find their goals to be a little, or I feel like I find them to be a little hypocritical when they wanna do that, but then, you know, create art that can only be bought by a certain type of individual, a certain type of for a certain price, right? Or if they're protesting or they're sharing a protest post from their iPhone, it gets very complicated and very, very messy very quickly if you start like nitpicking all of those little things. But if true change is what is desired by a party, and it's so hard to take it seriously, like not necessarily true change, but radical change is desired by a party, but the party uses or turns a blind eye to other things that, you know, maybe also be versions of the same oppression that they go through, kind of, right? I mean, the people who make the iPhones, right? The people who, the farmers who make, or who pick the, or who grow the beans or whatever plants, that the person, that the coffee, the coffee that people drink, right? Shouldn't it just feels so, I don't know, man. I'm a little lost. Essentially, I'm just saying, like, don't wish for radical change if you can't have radical change within yourself. I'm not saying all of the people that want radical change are hypocrites or are turning a blind eye to certain issues. Oh man, I'll have to make a U-turn here somewhere. But yeah, it just feels so funny that these same people are doing that. And I guess there should be a collective understanding that it's not bad. I mean, oh man, I hate that. I hate that I'm almost siding with BBM here. It's not bad to protest, and it's also not fully. Well, it is bad to commit graft and corruption, but it's also necessary to keep the system healthy. Man, I wish there was like a philosophy professor right next to me, or some sort of academe that could school me on this topic, because I'm like another thing that kind of triggered this, like I certainly have gas, right? Gear acquisition syndrome. I love buying gear, and it's I know it's wrong. It's consumerism, and it's also like I don't need it really, right? I mean, to say that you are limited by a corporation's tool to make your art, or at least what I feel like is art in terms of my photography, is I don't know. I feel like that's I'm lacking the word, and I don't think the coffee with 5 espresso shots really helped my headache. But yeah, so anyway, that's one of the other things that triggered me, is like gear acquisition syndrome, me wanting to buy cameras. I'm not saying that I'm a radical at all, but there are a few people that I know that are a little radical when it comes to their perspectives on politics and what they want for change. But they're also, sporting the newest the newest Hasselblad X2D2 or a GFX, right? I don't know. Those are the ones that I want, and those are the most expensive cameras that I can think of, or even just a regular XT5. And is that not a symbol of excess? Is that not And if you are wishing for radical change and you have those things, isn't that a little hypocritical? Right? That's why it's so hard for me to take a stand on all of this, like a really, really hard radical stand, because I can't. And I used to hate Rawls. Come on. That was different. Right, Rawls wanted to be a colony, Bonifacio really wanted to fully be independent, and independence isn't really a black and white thing, or black and white in terms of the metaphor that I used earlier. But yeah, no, I don't know. I feel bad for being a centrist. Essentially, I feel bad for being a moderate liberal and kind of also a conservative in that regard, in terms of the perspectives and political leanings. I'm not against. I think I'm leaning more left, but more center left. I am, right. But yeah, no, just thought about that, right? Can the true change and equality that they want really exist without the luxuries they experience? I know there's a moderation to the luxuries, right? We're not talking about just like a 50,000 peso phone that's and then you immediately say, you're being luxurious. But we're talking about billions and billions of pesos that were plundered, that could have been used for the betterment of a community or an entire city, or even the entire the country, right? That was grafted, and that's not the first time that's happened. But the scale of it is relative. I feel like it's still excess, right? Man, this is not helping with my headache, because now I'm going so deep into moral philosophy, and I'm being reminded why I both loved and hated The Good Place. God. Fuck. Yeah, no, I guess the conclusion, it's just this whole talk has been a good representation of what this video log is. It's just for me to sound out my thoughts and sound out the words that are in my head, and all I'm thinking about now is good that we're protesting. But also, I wouldn't be surprised if it just resets after a couple years. And I feel like life should be like that. We should be okay with having to reset and go through that cycle once again, and having to deal with it once again and protest once again, right? I think the most important thing for both sides is to not get tired of it. To keep fighting, right? To keep living both, to keep both sides alive. And this whole time I was thinking about fucking Star Wars, right? Because if it's all just Jedi, then what the fuck's the Jedi's point? And if it's all just Sith, then that's horrible. They both have to exist for balance in the Force, for the balance and the force to exist as well. And there's like this quote, I don't know if I'm making it up or I really did hear it before. True peace is not the non-existence of harm or evil. It's the harmonious balance of good and evil. I feel like I just made that up, but it's also, the yin and yang thing. And I think people have gotten so tired of yang the past couple of years that yin is coming out. And I really hope that yin doesn't kill yang. Even though yang, just push him back a little, right? Push him back. Look at the big ass flag. Push him back a little, like put him in his place, because he's overstepping. Right? Yeah. No, I think that's just the thought that I had. I had to switch lenses for this. I was taking a few photos, but nothing that has fully sparked me with joy yet. We'll see. It's at 2:23. I think I left at like 12 or 1 or something like that. So it's been an hour and a half since I've been out. Yeah. I think and hi to Brian for my one and only listener to this. Well, my other one, because I listen to this as well, and sometimes Amanda as well. Yeah. I think I'll stop this one and toss back the 85 and try to take more sniping photos from the car.